Mr. Bump loses his memory. This time, Mr. Bump has bumped his head once too often. Find out what happens when he starts to believe he is really Mr. Careful. Mr. Bump is the sort of person who is always having mistakes. Small accidents, maybe medium accidents, and then big accidents. Lots and lots of accidents. One day, Mr. Bump got out of bed, or rather, fell out of bed, as he did every morning. He drew back the curtains and opened the window. It was a beautiful day. He leaned on the windowsill and breathed in deeply and fell out the window. Bump! Mr. Bump sat up and rubbed his hand. And as he rubbed it dawned on him that he had no idea where he was. He had no idea whose garden he was sitting in. He had no idea whose house he was sitting in front of. He had no idea who he is. Mr. Bump had lost his memory. Mr. Bump walked up to his garden gate and looked down on the lane. Mr. Muddle was passing by. "Good afternoon," said Mr. Muddle. And as you and I know, it was morning, but Mr. Muddle surprisingly always got things in a muddle. "I seem to have lost my name," said Mr. Bump. "Do you know what my name is?" "You're Mr. Careful," said Mr. Muddle. "Thank you," said Mr. Bump. Mr. Bump went into town. The first person he met was Mrs. Packet, the grocer, carrying an armful of groceries. "Hello," said Mr. Bump. "I'm Mr. Careful. Can I help you?" "Just the person. I need someone careful to deliver these eggs." Mr. Bump took all the eggs from Mrs. Packet and set off down the street. And because he was Mr. Bump, he slipped and fell on the eggs, breaking all of them. "You're not all that careful, are you?" said Mrs. Packet. Sorry, said Mr. Bump. He walked on past the dairy. Mr. Bottle, the manager, came out. "I'm looking for someone to drive the milk float. What's your name?" "Mr. Careful," replied Mr. Bump. "Perfect," said Mr. Bottle. "I need someone careful to do the milk round." Mr. Bump set off down the road. As he rounded the corner, he hit the curb and the milk float turned around, smashing all the milk bottle. "Oh, that wasn't very carefully done, was it?" said Mr. Bottle. "Sorry," said Mr. Bump. Then he met Mr. Brush, the painter, was up a ladder painting. "Hello," said Mr. Bump. "I'm Mr. Careful. Do you need a hand?" "Yes, please," replied Mr. Brush. "I need someone careful to pass up the paint pot." Mr. Bump began to climb the ladder, and being Mr. Bump, he fell off, and the pot of paint landed on his head. Mr. Bump went on a walk. "I don't understand it," he said to himself. "My name is Mr. Careful, but I can't do anything carefully." It was then he walked into a tree. Bump! And he bumped his head. An owl fell out of the tree into his hands. "That's odd. How did I get here?" The last thing I remember is opening the bedroom window. Oh, and where did all this paint come from? Don't you? Oh, just at that moment, Farmer Fields was Run up, careful, he called. That sounds familiar, said Mr. Bum, and fell down the bank into the river.